Support for this podcast comes from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, connecting communities with the resources, infrastructure, and networks to ensure a vibrant local free press.
From KVPR in Fresno, this is Central Valley Daily. It's Tuesday, June 23rd. I'm Sarith Hawk. Downtown Merced got a pop of color recently.
It's something from my memory that when I look at this mural, I'm brought back to it.
The city now has 5 new murals that were painted during a recent art festival. Coming up, we hear from muralists who describe the meaning behind their new works of art. But first, these headlines. Kern County water leaders are debating drafting an emergency declaration over golden mussels. Specifically, water districts are seeking reimbursements from the state. Our news partner, SJV Water, reports water district leaders are facing rising costs from fighting back the invasive species. They've spent $4.6 million on the growing issue. If the districts reach $5 million in costs, they would be eligible to request assistance from the state. The Kern River will have fresh flows of water through the end of July. That's after a Bakersfield hydrographer said the river can squeeze out a few more weeks from this year's snowpack. Our news partner, SJV Water, reports the city initially estimated it would allow water to flow only through the July 4th holiday. Flows on the Kern River are a contentious issue as advocates fight to keep the river running more often throughout the year. More than 1 in 5 senior citizens in the San Joaquin Valley are growing old alone, with no spouse, partner, or other family member in the household, and that can carry health risks. Tim Sheehan with our news partner, the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, has the story.
Data from the U.S. Census Bureau indicates that among people ages 65 and older, women who are aging alone far outnumber men in the San Joaquin Valley. Experts say aging alone increases risks to both physical and mental health, including serious injuries from falls, nutritional deficiencies, anxiety, loneliness or depression, and dementia. Here's Dr. Alex Sheriffs, a physician who specializes in geriatric medicine with the UC San Francisco Fresno Medical Education Program.
When being alone becomes lonely, well, that's not good. That needs to be addressed.
Dr. Sheriffs adds that a key to successful solo aging is building a network of friends or others who can check in regularly with vulnerable seniors, either in person or by phone, to monitor their health and welfare. For KVPR and the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative, I'm Tim Sheehan.
First Amendment advocates are raising the alarm about a state bill that could make the process of getting public records longer and more expensive. The bill would allow agencies to charge hourly fees for the time it takes to search for records and petition to take their requester to court if they feel requests are malicious. David Snyder is with the First Amendment Coalition based in Marin County.
The first step in holding any government accountable is understanding what it's doing. And this bill would make that much harder for ordinary Californians, for journalists, for everybody.
The bill has been approved by the state assembly and is now in committee in the Senate. Yosemite National Park launched a new feature on its website showing real-time wait information at the destination's different entrances. Parking, traffic, and wait times at Yosemite have all seen increased scrutiny since the Park Service ended its reservation system. The website tracks wait times at Yosemite's Highway 41, 140, and 120 entrances.
You're driving through the neighborhood one day, and there, in your neighbor's driveway, sits a metal mess of spider webs the likes of which you've never seen. It's a KVPR car. Tell your neighbors, your family, and your friends if they've got a car they no longer need, donate it. KVPR can turn that unwanted car into great radio. It's a super easy and totally free process. Visit kvpr.org/cars to learn more.
And now to our main story. Downtown Merced doesn't look the same as it did some weeks ago. The Strip got a colorful makeover recently. That's because 5 large-scale murals went up in alleyways and on the sides of local businesses. They were part of an art festival last month. KVPR's Rachel Livinal talked with some of the muralists who explain the greater message behind public art.
I'm going to go forward.
Joel Aguilar's murals are sprinkled throughout Merced County. They're under highways, outside restaurants, in elementary schools. But the mural he's working on now is especially meaningful.
It's more public and people will see it here and they might see me. I feel like I need to really bring it, to 100%.
The mural sits between an Italian restaurant and a parking lot on Main Street. Aguilar is leaning out of a riser 6 feet off the ground and using a mechanical paint sprayer to color in the orange background on the wall. This wall will have swallows and a blooming cactus, and bees and butterflies flying out of a trumpet. Aguilar calls it sound of a memory. For him, it describes home.
I feel like I'm in a location where I can close my eyes and I know how old I am, what time it is, how does the atmosphere feel. It's something from my memory that when I look at this mural, I'm brought back to it.
Aguilar's vision is one of 5 murals painted by artists from across the valley during a recent art festival called Merced AF. The event brought dozens of businesses and artists together to celebrate poetry, offer jam sessions, and even teach breakdancing.
This is the time where we can make art social again.
Patricia Pratt was one of the organizers. She's also a muralist. She says art increases economic development, beautification, and pride in the city. But it also gives space for conversation and interaction.
It doesn't have to be just a thing that you look at, but a thing that you discuss and a thing that you come watch and a thing that you participate in.
One mural pays homage to how transportation changed the valley. Reggie Gamboa is a muralist from Visalia. His group's work shows divers exploring train cars submerged in water. He says the goal is to get people thinking about bigger ideas.
It's not necessarily about a specific subject matter or trying to say a message necessarily, but with undertones to where you can fill that message up.
Elizabeth Clays came to the festival from Turlock to watch the murals in progress. She says murals bring more community voices into the art scene.
One of the things about art is that it's oftentimes kept in exclusive spaces. When art is put out into the public, it changes the dynamic between the artist and the viewer.
Joel Aguilar says his art has changed through the years.
Let's go.
We walk past a mural on a Mexican restaurant on Main Street. It shows a crowd of graduates throwing their hats up in the air and a poem about a lost child. Do you know who did that mural?
Me. It's my second mural in Merced.
I ask him if he's changed as an artist since then. He says he's become more established and bold, partly because of the other Valley artists he's built relationships with.
I can play ball. I can be part of, the artist journey with them for sure.
Aguilar says he's grown into his artistic identity, much like the city he lives in. For KVPR News, I'm Rachel Livinal.
And Rachel joins me now to discuss more of her story. Hey, Rachel.
Hey, Zareth.
So, Rachel, this arts festival happened at a pretty interesting time for downtown Merced and its art scene. Can you tell me a little bit more about the timing of the festival?
This festival happened only a few months after downtown Merced became designated by the state of California as an arts and culture district. This designation gives them a little money to promote the district and the arts, but the organizers of this event said they didn't use that money for the festival. Still, it seems like this was almost a rebirth of the space after it received statewide recognition, so it was very good timing.
And in your report, you talked about a few of the beautiful murals that you got to check out. Were there other ones that you got to see that you maybe weren't able to feature?
So there were a total of 5 murals. Aside from Aguilar's and Gamboa's, there were also a couple of others. One of them is what appears to be a mom or a sister braiding a little girl's hair. So one of the artists said that was to get people to kind of connect with a memory that they might centrally have. Having your hair done, or braided by your mom or your sister is something very common, at least for me it was growing up. I'm sure for many others. There was also a massive mural on the wall of a coffee shop. It has a bunch of different characters on it. They're all under the same color scheme, so they all do kind of connect. And then some of them have a different style to them. So some of the characters have more of an Anna-based anime-based type of style, and others are more contemporary kind of art.
Wow, must be so cool to see. Well, Aguilar was sharing the wall he was painting on with another artist. Can you tell me more about what the other side of the wall showed and what the artist said it represented?
So Aguilar took over only one side of the wall, but it blended with the mural on the other side that a mentor of his did. And his artist name is Phasm, and he's done a ton of murals in Modesto and the surrounding communities of Modesto. This mural is very simple. It's just Merced, California in giant letters. Phasm said the goal was to get something people could pose in front of and feel proud about the city they're in. To feel pride in the city, basically, was the main message. He did one like this in Modesto, and he said it's massively popular, and he wanted a connection like that for Mercedians.
Well, Aguilar is from the Valley, and it seems like becoming a muralist might not be a sustainable career option here. How did Aguilar find his love for painting murals, and did you speak to other muralists trying to make a career out of it?
Aguilar grew up in Livingston, which is a little town or city in Merced County, and he said he always grew up loving art, but I think for him, it changed when he went to Florence, Italy, doing some study abroad while he was attending Stanislaus State. He realized there that he could really make anything his canvas. For him out there, it was like a napkin. You know, he said that a napkin could be his canvas. And he's like, well, if anything could be my canvas, why not like a wall? And as far as making it a career, I talked to one of the organizers about making something like this a career. She said that if you are an artist, you will always find your way back to it. She said she spent much of her life doing art on the side and working other jobs to make ends meet. But now she owns an art studio, and it is a full-time gig for her. She said all those other jobs helped her learn other skills, like business skills and things like that help her now in owning her own art studio. And that might be the case for all muralists, or it may not, but they all get to do art for a living on some sort of spectrum.
Such a cool story. KVPR reporter Rachel Livinal, thanks for bringing the story to us.
Thanks for having me, Sarith.
And that's today's show. Today's episode was produced by Rachel Livinal, Carrie Klein, Jonathan Linden, Crescencio Rodriguez Delgado, and KVPR, with support from the Central Valley Journalism Collaborative. I'm Sarith Hawk. Find the latest local news anytime at kvpr.org.
Each story you hear on Planet Money starts with a question. What happens if we refund tariffs? Why are groceries so expensive? At NPR, we stand for your right to be curious, because the forces shaping our world can be hard to see. Follow NPR's Planet Money wherever you get your podcasts and start seeing how the economy really works.